Yo and hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Showcase Showdown. This is episode number 25. I can't believe, Chris, we have made it a quarter century of episodes.
Gosh, that's a lot. When we started this, I didn't think either one of us would have enough runs to go this long, but it looks like we're doing fine. We're moving right along.
That is kind of crazy. 25 player runs that, here and there, you and I have been missing some cards, but by and large, we've had a lot of the cards, 90+% for sure between the two of us.
Easy 90.
That is pretty
and
crazy.
again, Mike, isn't this fun when we get these cards out that we might not have gotten out for a while, and we get to revisit some of this stuff, and I love it. Love it.
Well, we're doing Ted Williams today, and honestly, this is the first time I've ever had all my Ted Williams cards together, and I'm just giddy. I'm like this little kid seeing all these amazing cards together. I've never done a Ted Williams showcase because, truthfully, my Ted Williams collection has been improved over the last little bit, and so that's not good news for you, but it's good news for my collection. And all of us are acquiring cards all the time, and we're getting new stuff, and you need a place to store all that stuff. And our sponsor for this show, Showcase Showdown, is the Penny Sleever. You're going to need supplies. All of us do. Why not get them as cheap as you can? Why not give some great people some business? Thepennysleever.com. Showcase is the 10% discount code. Use it. Check out the links below and go find yourself some great stuff that you need to store all those awesome cards. Thanks to them for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ted Williams today, the Splendid Splinter. Maybe one of the most top 5 player of all time. Is it possible?
Definitely, in my opinion, a top five hitter of all time, and he has a strong argument of being the greatest hitter of all time. But he manned the green monster forever, and I think he's a misunderstood guy. He's in a couple different kind of Hall of Fames. He was very to the point, and a lot of times great players don't translate into great coaches. And I think he struggled with the youth of his day. But golly, what a player. Bill James once called him the best looking ball player that ever put on a uniform. As far as when you look at him, that's a ball player.
Yeah.
And man, what a hitter. What a guy.
He was amazing. I can't give him enough superlatives. I've always loved Ted Williams. I have the Ted Williams item hanging right here, a Ted Williams signed item hanging back there. I have a Ted Williams bobblehead up there. I mean, anything and everything I could get Ted Williams, I was happy to get. And let's see. Yeah, he's on my 500 piece right here. I've got his Perez Steel right there. I mean, I've always admired Ted Williams as a baseball player. As a human being, flawed like the rest of us, right? But as a ball player, no question. You mentioned his coaching career. If you ever get asked this at a trivia question, Chris, I'm going to help you. The first manager ever of the Texas Rangers was Ted Williams.
Okay.
1972, their inaugural season in Texas, moving from Washington. I happen to have here a 1972 Texas Rangers program, and it is signed up here by Ted Williams. Which, when I saw this, I was like, I have to. Ted Williams, the Rangers, like, I have to have this. It wasn't that, I don't remember, $75, $100 maybe. It wasn't like crazy expensive because only a guy like me would really want a Texas Rangers program. But it is from 1972, their inaugural year, so it's just a cool piece that I love. And I had to pull that out and show it to you. That's what she said.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
But tell everybody about Showcase Showdown, which is what they're really here to watch, how it's going to work, and what we're gonna do today.
Well, another great player we're going to show right now, everybody. I say it all the time. This is my favorite half hour on YouTube for the week. So push pause on this, run to your collection wherever you store them, pull out all your Ted Williams, put them in order from his last card or his last issued card all the way down to his first card, which is the 1939 play ball Ted Williams. And what we do is you get 5 points for having the card if you want to play along, and you get an additional point for the grade. So if you get a 6, you add 6 to that 5, and it's worth 11 points. And we're going to uh, compare ours as we go. But I forgot to mention, if are we considering the 38 his rookie or the 39 his rookie card? Do we get
We are.
double? Okay,
We are.
so the 39 play ball is going to be double the points, and just sit back, relax, and watch this with us. And if you have a higher grade, or tell us in the comments what your grades are. We'd like to know. We'd like to know who's doing Ted Williams run along with us. So Mike's halfway through. Mike's going to he's going to tally up the points and see, who's got the lead, and try to keep you interested there. Hopefully, I can keep up with Baseball Collector today. It's been difficult, but I don't know. At least we're going to be looking at some really fun cards today.
We totally are. And it does feel, I haven't even mentioned how bad I beat you last time, and that I'm back in the driver's seat. I'm back on the home field advantage, which means you get to go first with his last card, which is 1960 Fleer.
Okay, but first I want to show this. Uh, this is a 1976 all-time All-Stars, and it's Ted Williams. And the reason I'm showing this, Mike, is because I believe this is one of the first cards that I ever opened up, and it was in a. I remember the store was Kmart. Do you guys have any Kmart stores down in Texas?
Oh, yeah.
And I'd go in there, and I didn't open up a whole lot of cards when I was a kid, but I remember going in and looking at the cello cards. You could see the back of the cards through the wrapper, and
Yep.
I remember seeing this and thinking, okay, I got to have this one, and explaining to my mom why I needed it and why Ted Williams was a Hall of Famer and a great player. And I remember this. So this card here means a lot to me.
That's awesome. I have the card too. It's a great card. He's got a lot of post playing. I have some newer stuff of his, and heck, there was even a Ted Williams card. His son started a card company in his name in the like 93, 94, somewhere around there, that went defunct pretty quick. But some of the junk wax era people like myself would remember that. But now to some real playing days, Ted Williams card.
Okay. So 1960 Fleer, and I have a 4.
Oh, I need to put us in showdown mode.
Oh yeah, do that.
There we go. Now the cards will look better. We will look uglier, but the cards will look better.
I always thought this was a strange card because the border being so big.
Yeah, compared to the other ones in the set. I have a 5, but I don't know if I want to show this one or if I want to show my autographed version of it. I mean, what do you think, Chris? They're both 5s. What would you like me to count?
Oh, I take the autograph one this time. That way I can tell everybody I let you have the autograph one. Use that.
You're so generous. So generous, I tell you. All right, 1959.
I want to show another 1960 card, though, while I'm at it. And I think you'll love this. It is a picture. It is the 1960 McFadden, Ted Williams, and Stan Musial card. And I've
never seen that.
2 great players at the time, and I'm glad to have this thing. Very nice card.
I've never even seen that. That's cool. Well, 59, Ted Williams had left Topps, and he exclusively signed a deal with Fleer to make an 80 card set called Fleer Ted Williams. And it's a set of 80 different cards. For the set registry, which is what we use, the basic set registry, you can use any of the cards from that set to count for your Ted Williams run, and so I have a couple of them. I've just got just some random ones. I've got a 5. I'm going to use my highest grade one, by the way. Here's a Ted reaches 400th homer. That's in a 7, and these are not expensive. So, and these are kind of a tribute set, right? There's no real Ted Williams card for 59. These are all moments and milestones, acknowledgments. Like you got him holding fish and hanging with Babe Ruth and all kinds of stuff. The card that you really want to own that set is this one,
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I was hoping you'd show that one.
which is Ted signs for 59. And on there, you see him with Bucky Harris. He was the Red Sox general manager, and he had not signed a deal with Fleer. So he was like, nah, you can't put my image on a card unless you pay me. So they removed this card early in production, and it's more scarce and quite valuable, actually. But that's another card from that. So part of the 300 cards, great cards by Mike.
Well, I don't have any of the set graded, but I do have 55 of them. If you want to give me 5 points for 55 of them.
Well, I have the
Okay.
whole set, so you're screwed either
Then
way.
no, let's don't do that. Then that's a bad idea.
I'd have
Right.
even more than you. It's actually I have the set in a binder down there. 1941. Oh my gosh, what a great year for baseball, and unbelievable.
And that set's not that expensive, because at shows I see that set a lot without Ted signs.
Right.
But when you throw that card in there, that makes that that's an expensive set, and it's on my list because of that being in the 300th great card of Mike Payne that we collect together.
The one of him and Ruth in that set is also pricier than the rest, but again, not crazy expensive. Now we get back into some Topps cards here with 1958. I always think Ted's hat looks hilarious in this card, but I have PSA 5.
I have a 2.
Okay.
Now 57, again, I say that all the time about the 57. It's hard to find the great players centered, and I have a 5.
Nice. I was hoping I would throw a no-hitter today, but I'm not because I only have a 3.5.
Okay. Well, boy, that scares me a little bit when you're talking about a no-hitter after the first 3 cards.
I was thinking I felt like I had some good stuff today. I felt like I was dealing, but I may be okay on this one. 56 Topps. By the way, Topps starts getting lazy. You're going to see the same picture over and over for Ted Williams, but I have it in a 6.
I have mine in a 2.
Great card. I mean, look at that follow through on the swing down below. Awesome.
55 showing the same swing.
Yep.
And I have a 2.5. A lot of people think this is one of their favorite cards. If they have the Ted Williams cards, this is one of his better cards.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on it.
I have a 4. So I like it. You can't. How can you say you don't like a Ted Williams card? Like,
True.
All right. The beautiful 54 Bowman. Man, you want to tell the story of this card? Why it's important?
Well, my thoughts was he didn't have a contract signed with them in 54, and so they did a quick print run with it. And when they found out that he hadn't signed and they told him to pull it off, they replaced it with, I believe, a Jimmy Pearsall.
That's right.
In that set. And when I was younger, I thought this card was more rare than what it really is now. I used to think you could never find one, and I didn't even look for it, and didn't think I would ever get it, and considered it an error card. And but now, as I got older, it's not it's not near as rare, but it's still a tough card to get. And I have mine in a 3.
I have mine in SGC 1.5, but it is gorgeous.
That I like the way that looks in that SGC.
Yeah.
We
I
may have to
can't
do
believe
some trading.
I can't believe I just showed an SGC card, first of all. But you'll see more. There's
Well,
more coming on Ted Williams stuff. So I feel like I just got
Mike,
blurred.
will you ever crack that card?
No. I don't see why I would, honestly.
So you're maturing as a collector, and the SGC just isn't bothering you anymore.
Well, I'm hoping that now that SGC is owned by PSA, that they'll get a joint registry and it won't matter anymore. But all right, 54 tops. I'm going to show card number 1 first. He happens to have 2 cards in the 54 top set. He bookends the set. Card number 1, card number 250. The orange is first. Card number 1. I have that in a 3.5.
I have mine in a 1.5 and miscut. No, marked. Mine
Mark.
says marked, but I don't know where it's marked. But it is.
Well, I'm going to give you some grace there. I'm going to give you a point just for having it graded. You know, got to have a little grace. Why don't you show the second one?
Okay, so I've had this card a long, long time. This is from a find that I missed a frame find back in the day because I see the yellow stamp on it. But now I have it in a 3 MK. And Lord, I'm hoping I'm not the one that put the mark on there.
I have a 2.5 on that one. But great card. Great card.
So I want to show a card before you show one.
Yeah.
And this is the 52 Wheaties. I've kind of fallen in love with some of these baseball cards in the Wheaties set, and they come with a portrait and they come with kind of an inaction version as well.
Yeah.
And I just think that's Ted Williams in his prime right there, and I just think that's a great looking card.
That is a consummate Ted Williams photo, right? That portrait, right?
Exactly.
We're skipping a few years now. You're up next.
I'm up next. Okay.
All right, I'll go. 51 Bowman. Okay. You're right. I think it's my turn. 51 Bowman. 3.5.
Now they were a little lazy here as well, weren't they? I have mine in a 1.5.
Yeah, because we're going to show the next card and we can maybe put them side by side.
So again, this is a Mr. Frame card that I got a long time ago, but I have mine in a 2.
And I have a 3.5 again.
You want to put the other one right next to it?
Yeah. Why don't you put up the 51 and I'll show the 50. Just put your 51 up and you can see it's the same picture. It's cropped differently. You've got a nameplate on the 51 and clouds added to the picture on the 51. But other than that, same.
It's a beautiful. Mine. You didn't hear it? An 8? You didn't hear that 8?
I think you said 2 is what I think.
I did say 2.
All right.
I did say 2.
I got to keep score. We're down to now we're into the 40s, so I'm going to give you a score update. We didn't really quite stop halfway, but do you want to know the score really?
Well, it's not that bad. You thought you're going to pitch a no-hitter and already have 2 hits at least. So
that's true. I have 100 points. You have 79.
Okay.
So, but you may get some here because we are on to the 49 Leaf Ted Williams, and I had it in a 1.
Well, I have mine in a 1 as well.
Oh man,
mine was folded up. You can see the crisscross on mine.
Yeah, mine has tape residue on it. That's not a cheap card in any grade, but in a higher grade, that is not cheap.
Well, if you look at Don Field of Dreams, he's a Stan Musial collector, and he has the brother to this one. He has the Stan Musial to this Ted Williams. Whoever owned these two cards had them you know, flipped into four different pieces. And anyway, Don has one and I have the other. So there you go.
That is
Now,
hilarious.
I want to show this. What are we down to? 1941. Is that right?
Yep.
Let me
Got three
show
more.
this one. Let me show this one first. And this is a 1943 R302 MP and Company card.
Yeah.
And, you know, but
That looks
just wanted to
nothing
show
like Ted Williams.
it. Those some of our YouTubers have been beating down those cards on recent videos because, you know, in that set they have Larry Doby as a white pitcher, and you know and all of them, none of them look like each other, you know, or look like they should. So anyway,
Well, let's before we get to the 41, which is classic year. Everybody knows the history. That's when Ted Williams hit 406, the last guy to hit 400. But at this point, U.S. enters the World War II. Ted Williams goes on to be a pilot for the Navy, and he fly for the Marine Corps. Maybe I can't remember, Navy or Marine Corps. He was a pilot, and he ended up losing 5 seasons essentially of playing time to both World War II and the Korean War. And I'm telling you, what would his stats be if not for that? And we're talking about prime years that Ted Williams missed due to the wars. Man, what would his stats look like? Oh,
I totally agree. And part of the part of the thing that bothers me about Ted Williams is, you know, as a kid, I don't know if I was as patriotic as I've become and respected being in the service like that and giving up, you know, giving up his personal life to help defend the country. But he wasn't a friend of many reporters either. And I
right.
wonder what his legacy would be because I mean, today, if he would stop his career, if somebody would stop their career today and go fight for our country for 5 years and then come back and play again, I think he would be the most beloved baseball player, especially if they were as great as him. But he has, you know, he won some MVP awards, but he almost had to force people to vote for him because I believe it's 1951, Yogi Berra won the MVP, and what a great player! I mean, great player. But if you look at the 51 season, Ted Williams on every category that was good was better than Yogi Berra, and not just by a little bit, by a lot. And and even today's stat, we use WAR a lot, and he almost had double the WAR of Yogi, but I think he finished third in the voting, and he won the Triple Crown and didn't get MVP. And I do know that, you know, Joe DiMaggio had the big hitting streak in 41, but I don't know if you lead every category, it would be hard for me not to vote for you.
Yeah.
And I just think I just think he gets looked at differently. He got looked at differently then than what he would be getting looked at now. But again, you're right. He had what 521 home runs. Give him, you know, put 5 times 30, and that's a modest number, and add 50 home runs to that total.
Yeah. He's
And
number two all time at that point,
yeah, yeah,
behind. And at that point, he would have been number two and he'd stay number two. Willie only got to 660, right? So it's, he was surly and grouchy, and it definitely cost him with respect from reporters, which are, of course, writing the news. And so it maybe gave this perception that he was that way. But he kind of really was, because the truth is, Ted Williams expected everybody else to be as good as Ted Williams. And that was true, certainly in his managerial career, which is why he was largely a failure at that, because the players couldn't really even he would talk about hitting on a level that they just couldn't, like, we don't get it, Ted. He just understood things at a deeper level, which made him a great player, but made him sound condescending a lot of times. And there's it's a shame that that happened because his greatness, I think, is really appreciated, and his cards are valuable for that reason. And but he could be even more lofty in the hobby, more lofty in the annals of the sports legends, in my opinion. But
And
okay,
just another little quick thing to add to that, to pile on a little bit. I heard a Carl Yastrzemski interview, and he Ted Williams had some giant shoes to fill, and Carl Yastrzemski was going to be that guy. And early in Carl Yastrzemski's career, which I did not know, the fans really rode him hard because the lack of effort that Carl Yastrzemski was giving, and Carl thought he was giving it his all, but there were some grounders he didn't run out as hard because they hit him back to the pitcher or hit him right to the first baseman, and he took a beating in the press, and it was really getting on him. And he said that Ted Williams came to him and said something like, "You need to quit trying to be like Ted Williams, and you be the best Carl Yastrzemski that you can be, and you'll be a Hall of Famer." And Carl Yastrzemski just said that just okay, that stood him straight up, and it really loved the encouragement. So he wasn't hated by players. Matter of fact, remember the All-Star game, right?
oh,
Where
I cried as a grown man. You know, Tony Gwynn wheel out Ted Williams in '94, was it? I think. Does that
yeah,
sound right?
yeah,
But all right, we got three more cards. We're running a
okay,
little long. Let's,
okay,
although he deserves the homage being paid to him. Don't
there you
worry.
go.
41 play ball. Great card. Commemorates a great year. I have it in a 3.5.
I have mine in a 1.5.
Okay. The fact, I mean, I think we both have every card so far. That's pretty nuts.
Okay,
All right.
1940 play ball, and I'm starting to love this set. Just
Thank you.
really starting to really love it, and and
Welcome to the
and
club.
yeah. So I have mine in a 1.
I have mine in a 3, but absolutely love it. Same picture, by the way. If you look at 40, 41, one's just colorized. And so many people love the 41s more. I like the 40s more because it's an actual picture. Black and white as it might be, it's still a picture, you know?
I like the 40s more as well. Now this particular 41 Ted Williams though, what I like about it is that manufactured shadow behind there.
Right?
It just I don't know, it makes that just it highlights him, and I just love it. But no, the 40 play ball is the set.
Yeah, I'm glad you're coming around on that. So many amazing players and old timers. Matthewson has a card in there. Shoeless Joe Jackson has a card in there.
Right.
Pretty cool. All right. Thank you to the Grail Collection, because through the Grail Collection that I did with Chris Sewell, I was able to acquire a 39 play ball Ted Williams and an SGC4.
That is a beautiful card. And that card is one of my goals at the National because I do not
Okay.
have it.
Oh, on the rookie. On the rookie. Oh my gosh. This might be the biggest whooping of Showcase Showdown
I
history.
know,
I'm just
and
saying.
yeah, I am proud. I am proud of my Ted Williams stuff, and I'll be glad when I get that run. But boy, that's a beautiful card. Beautiful card.
Well, I have to tell the score just for the fans. They want to know.
You can whisper the score, okay?
140.5 to 97.5. That's the score.
50
That's
points.
You know
Wow.
what? If we were in a baseball game, you would have had your left fielder pitching late in that game. It was such a
Uh,
rout.
yeah. If
No,
we were in a baseball game, I'd have turned on the sprinkler head.
I I will love seeing you get that 39 play ball Williams at the National. That would be awesome. It's a great. Again, I only own it because I was able to get it as part of a bigger deal, but So glad that I have it. It's been a card on my want list for a really long time. It's another 300 grade cards card, as are several Ted Williams cards, by the way. But yeah, that's another episode of Showcase Showdown.
Ugh,
What's the
ugh.
score? I don't even, it's not important. It's just not even,
Well,
doesn't
I
even
know
matter.
what I know what the score is, but we'll just hold on to it for our next showcase showdown. And you want to explain to everybody what we're doing?
Yeah, this is probably the best news you've heard since we started this episode, and that we're not going to run the wheel today because what we're going to do, our next episode is going to be live on June 23rd, Sunday afternoon, and more to come on the exact time of that. But it'll be coming up on June 23rd. And actually, do you have the time, Chris? Do you know the time?
I believe it's 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. on Sunday. So
Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern, right?
that is correct.
Okay, 5 Eastern, Sunday, June 23rd. Chris and I are going to be doing Mickey Mantle live showcase showdown. And at that point, we'll add several more names to the ones that are still remaining on the wheel. And we will spin it then to see who will be the next showcase showdown. But for now, that's it for this episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Chris, again. And, I love you, man.
Yeah, if you love me so much, you'd let me win one or two.
You won it. You won Carlton last week. What do you, or 2 weeks ago?
I forget how that feels. It's been so long.
All right. See you guys later. Have a good one. Keep collecting.